Hello, and welcome to the channel. And in today's video, I'm going to be doing a Bulwark perk guide. I've done one for Tactical Assault Vanguard, and now it is time for Bulwark. We are halfway through, so yeah, let's get straight into it now. Starting off, in my opinion, you want to go for Intimidating Aura. A perfectly timed parry deals aerial effect, damage within 5-meter radius. Cooldown is 5 seconds. Now, I know it says parry, but block also works as well. I wish Saber Interactive would fix this and put block in as well. So yeah, perfect parries and blocks do work for Intimidating Aura, and this is just amazing. Bulwark, in my opinion, is the best class in the game, hands down, and one of the most fun classes in the game, so you can't go wrong with Bulwark. So I go for Intimidating Aura, just doing more damage. It's just nice within a 5-meter radius, right? So every time you're parrying and whatever, you're going to be doing damage. And you know, if you do go for like a Thunder Hammer build, you could also go for forward momentum after a Shield Bash, Shield Rush, or Thunder Hammer. Pommel Smash, melee damage increases by 30% for 10 seconds. So if you're going to use, like, you know, the Thunder Hammer, whatever, I would probably go for forward momentum here. And then Conviction, when your armor is fully depleted, you take 25% less health damage for 10 seconds. Now, health and armor is not an issue for Bulwark, hence why I wouldn't go for it. And then you have Armor of Contempt. When you block a ranged attack, enemies within a 10-meter radius take the damage instead. I feel like this perk is just, it's okay, but it's not an amazing perk in my opinion. It can be handy against, like, you know, the Terminator, like the miniguns and whatnot, you know, while they're just standing there, because, you know, there's another prestige perk that allows you to gain your ability charge for every damage you block. So, you know, you can also recharge your ability and also deal damage. But yeah, I mean, maybe again, like in siege mode, that might be handy. Maybe shock or enemies in a shock area take 25% more damage. If you are going to go for a shock build, then shock or can also be pretty decent. I do want to do a build on this. So shock is also decent, but I go for scramble targeting. If you are surrounded by 5 or more enemies, which is all the time, you take 25% less damage from ranged attacks. So in my opinion, scramble targeting is the one you want to go for. But there's, you know, if I had to like pick between 1, 2, I go for scramble target and then shock and then Armor of Contempt. And then in my opinion, this is a no-brainer. Defensive advantage after a perfectly timed parry or block creates a shock area for 5 seconds, cooldown is 30 seconds. This is very nice for like taking out Minoros enemies, and also I guess stunning Majoros enemies, because I'm pretty sure they just, you know, sit there sometimes just holding their shields up and they can't move. Don't quote me on that though. But you know, it's just a very good swarm clear for Minoros enemies, so hence why I go for defensive advantage. But yeah, I mean, the only downside is it's only 5 seconds, but then again, the cooldown is only 30 seconds, so it can be pretty good to get those Minoros enemies off you. You also have Still Within. When your health is less than 50%, you take 30% less health damage. Again, I feel like when it comes to Bulwark, you just don't run out of health, in my opinion. Like, I just don't think you need Still Within. You know, you have Armor Reinforcement, non-finisher gun strikes, restore 1 armor statement. This is also a very good perk. If you are, you know, a fan of fencing weapons, I'd probably actually go for Armor Reinforcement instead of defensive advantage. If you like use, you know, fencing power sword or fencing chainsword or whatever it might be, Armor Reinforcement is a very good perk. Now, when it comes to the T perk, I think Focus Restoration is the best. Every 30 seconds, all squad members automatically restore 1 armor segment. You don't know how many times this perk has saved me, and it can save your teammates as well. Armor in this game is very crucial, hence why we go for Focus Restoration. Advanced Conditioning is also, I guess, not bad. Contested health fades 50% more slowly for all squad members is also pretty decent. And then Effective Formation, all squad members take 20% less health damage from extremists or terminus of enemies. I just feel like it's just a mediocre perk. So Focus Restoration, in my opinion, it's just nice, always gaining armor segments every 30 seconds as well. So, and I imagine you power this on with, like, I don't know, Armor Reinforcement. You're just gonna keep gaining armor segments, and then you're gonna just have a shit ton of health. And then we have Purity of Purpose. The banner deals damage over time to enemies within its area effect. This is such an amazing swarm clear. Just pop it down, bang, watch those Minoros enemies go down, and it also deals damage to Majoros enemies and whatever enemies nearby, and it can be very nice, man, just dealing damage to them over time. And yeah, just when you have a lot of, you know, Minoros enemies on you, just pop it down and they will just go down like flies. You have Rapid Regeneration. The banner restores 300% armor 300% faster, but its duration is reduced to 10 seconds. This is just not worth it, in my opinion. Do not go for this one at all. Then you have focus strength. Shield bash knocks enemies back and makes them lose control for a longer period of time. I don't really use shield bash, I'm gonna be honest. It's only good if we use a shield bash, you know, build. That's really it. Otherwise, purity of purpose 100%. And then we have concussive force. Shield bash deals 20% more damage. Shield rush deals 100% more damage. Thunder hammer pommel smash deals 100% more damage, and deals area effect damage within a 7-meter radius. Cooldown is 5 seconds. Now, I think on my previous thunder hammer video, I don't know if I used this. I probably should have actually. But again, if you're going to use a shield bash build, a you know, what's it called? Shield bash or thunder hammer, this is I guess a decent perk. But I feel like the perks, you know, concussive force just gets overshadowed by these two. You know, glory shield, all squad members within the banner's area effect take 20% less damage, and the banner lasts 20% longer. So not only does the banner deal damage to enemies, right, it also provides squad members with 20% less damage from enemies, and it lasts 20% longer. So you're also going to be dealing more damage to the enemies, hence why just Bulwark, like, his banner just offers so much. Genuinely such an amazing class. And you also have the obvious invigorating icon. When the banner is activated, all squad members regain maximum contested health, but it recharges 50% slower. Again, this is just a very handy perk. It's literally unlimited Medicae stims. Now, you know, your charge is 50% slower, but again, if you can just block a few range attacks or whatever, it'll come back pretty quickly, especially against those minigun guys. I don't know what they're called, so I do apologize. The Terminator or whatever, the Scarab, something. You can just legit they just spray you, and you just hold your, you know, shield, and there you go. You can literally gain it in like 5 seconds. So yeah, as to which one I would pick, they're both really, really good. If you are a player who struggles with, you know, losing health and struggles on absolute, I'll go for invigorating icon. If you're someone who wants more of a challenge and, you know, doesn't want to gain easy health, then in my opinion, I'll go for glory's shield. Now you have rejuvenating effect. When the banner is activated, it revives incapacitated squad members within its area effect. This is just poo in my opinion. Why should I put it down when I can just revive them normally? I feel like this perk is trash. Any revive perk in this game is pretty mid in my opinion. You have merciless resolve. After a shield bash, shield rush, or thunder hammer pommel smash, melee damage increases by 15%. You do not lose control of putting your heavy hits, and you can't be knocked back for 10 seconds. Again, only if you need to use like a shield rush or thunder hammer build. I don't use that. And then you have inspiration. All squad members within the banner's area effect deal 20% more damage. So again, if you use inspiration, if you use glory shield, and if you use purity of purpose, you are just going to be offering so much, not only for you but for your team as well. Again, not only are you going to be doing more damage, your squad members take 20% less damage, it lasts longer, so you're doing more damage, and your squad members deal more damage. Like, what more do you want? This class is literally a tank. Or if you don't want purity, I mean, if you don't want glory shield, you have invigorating icon. Your teammates can get their contested health. Amazing perk. Like, Bulwark is genuinely the most broken class in this game. The chapter banner just offers so much. Again, not only to you but your team as well. Now you've got emergency countermeasure. When your armor is fully depleted, a reserve shock grenade automatically detonates at your position. Cooldown is 90 seconds. Now what I do actually want to do is, again, I want to do a was it this one? I want to do a shotgun or with defensive advantage, and I want to do a emergency countermeasure build. Now would I use this? Probably not. I would not use this because you have defensive mastery. A perfectly timed parry or block instantly incapacitates a Majoros or extremist level enemy. Cooldown is 90 seconds. Yes, Majoros or extremists. Now it's especially handy against those extremist enemies, you know, because those lictors, those raveners, they just drop down like flies with this, and the cooldown is only 90 seconds. Now if we're talking about an average how long a PvE game lasts, depends if you're playing solo or with people. With people it will last around, well, depends how good the people are. If they keep going down, it may last like 30 minutes. If they're like average players, it might last 30-40 minutes. If they're pretty good, it should last around 15 to 20 minutes depending on what map you're playing. So you should at least scale around like 15 to 20 times defensive mastery, and it's just so handy for taking out lictors and raveners and maybe even Majoros enemies as well. So definitely defensive mastery is the one you want to go for. It's just an absolute broken perk. And then you have armor advanced. If you have armor remaining, you do not lose control of when taking heavy hits, and you cannot be knocked back. Again, I just feel like defensive mastery, you just cannot miss up on this one. This is just genuinely too good. All right, now we have I think, all right, hold on. So starting off with the first one, we got overcharge, charged attack damage increases by 20%. If you're going to use the power fist, thunder hammer, this is very, very handy. You know, maybe if you are using the, I think it's called full throttle for the chainsword, you know, but if you want to take out maybe a neurothrop or whatever, this is very, very good. Then I'll go for powerful shot. Range damage increases by 20% because who doesn't want more range damage? Then you have masterful defense, ability recharge, ability charge is restored by 1% for every block to range attack. Again, if you're playing chaos, this is extremely handy, and even against the Tyranids as well, when it's like a lot of, I don't know what they're called, but the ones that spit out the venom stuff, like with the 4 venom stuff. If you block off like some of their attacks, you should gain it, I guess, fairly quickly as well. And then I think, what did I go for next? Auxiliary reload. Melee kills of extremist level or enemies restore your secondaries weapons ammo by 1 magazine. Again, I feel like Bulwark kind of does struggle with ammo, so that's why I go for auxiliary reload, especially if we're gonna use like the plasma pistol or something like that. Then auxiliary reload is what I go for. If you really want to, you could also go for, I think, stranded bearer. When chapter banner activates, you become invulnerable to damage for 2 seconds. This is also very good. The one I would not go for, however, is emboldened strand. I feel like that was not great, and I wouldn't go for medic items because, or resilience, because you've got invigorating icon, so you really don't need it. So yeah, that's the build. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what is your go-to, you know, build when it comes to Bulwark. Let me know if you agree with the choices I have made. If not, let me know in the comment section down below. And yeah, have a great rest of your day, and I'm out. Peace.